Hey class, and welcome to, hopefully, the last lecture video you have to watch on advanced math. So here we're going to be talking about 6.5 Objective 6. This is going to be the last stuff you need to know in order to do that homework on my math lab. So here we have tangent of 4 pi over 3, and my math lab is going to ask you, first and foremost, where does the terminal side of this angle lie? So in order to find where this terminal side lies, we do our typical thing of comparing it. So, okay, I was about to say finding the least non-negative coterminal angle, but as some of you may have noticed, this is the least non-negative coterminal angle for this angle. You can't get any smaller while staying positive. So maybe you did recognize that this is a member of the pi over 3 family, and it is the third member of it, because the first member is pi over 3, the second member is 2 pi over 3, and the third member is right here, and it is 4 pi over 3. So if you didn't recognize it by its family, you could have also recognized that a rotation of 1 full pi would have gotten you here, and what we're adding is a third of another pi rotation, which is going to get you somewhere around here. So in my math lab, we can go ahead and click it is in terminal 3. We check that answer. That is correct. The next thing it's going to ask is the tangent function positive or negative in this quadrant? And hopefully you remember the saying, all students take calculus. So in quadrant 3, the t suggests that tangent is positive. So we can go in, tell it it's going to be positive. And now it's going to say determine the reference angle. So the reference angle, remember, is that angle that is closest to the x-axis. And hopefully by now you've seen the connection between the families of angles and reference angle. So you'll know that since this is in the family of the pi over 3 triangles or angles, the reference angle, theta r, is going to be just pi over 3. So we come right there, do pi, and then, oh wait, I gotta do fraction. Oh no. Alright, let me actually type this. Pi over 3. We check that, and it is correct. Well done. So now, the expression is equivalent to which of the following expressions? So, what do we do here? Well, if tangent 4 pi over 3 is, okay, so if the reference angle of this is pi over 3, let's ask ourselves this question. If we were right here in the first quadrant of pi over 3, is tangent of pi over 3 going to be positive or negative? Well, in quadrant 1 we have that tangent is positive. So if the sign doesn't change and our reference angle doesn't change, our angle is the same, so pi over 3 right here has the same reference angle as 4 pi over 3, then it should follow that tan of 4 pi over 3 is going to have the exact answer as tangent of 4 pi over 3. And that is correct. Nice work. So now, finally, it is asking you to find the exact value of tangent of 4 pi over 3. So in order to evaluate our tangent function at 4 pi over 3, we can use, since there's no change in the sign, this right here, this pi over 3. So now we have tangent of pi over 3. And as always, guys, tangent is y over x, opposite over adjacent. what are these values? So what it would look like is something like this. If you pretend this is the x-axis and this angle is pi over 3. So our right angle, if we remember our special triangle rules, will form sides of 1, and remember this is setting r to 1, 1/2, and square root of 3 over 2. So let me actually move and do this in more detail. Okay, so two things really quickly. So since 4 pi over 3 is in the pi over 3 family, we can draw this line right here. This angle between the negative x-axis and our angle 4 pi over 3 is going to be pi over 3, right? I can draw a straight line down from here to this point, and let's assume that the distance between that point and the center point is 1. So we're going to set, this is what we mean when we set r to 1, right? Now this line, if I drew it correctly, is a straight line between the x-axis and this point. So that creates a right angle. Now, hopefully you see that we have our special right triangle pi over 3, pi over 6, pi over 2. Pi over 2 being this right angle. And you guys know the side lengths of these triangles, right? You may have memorized it as 2, 1, and square root of 3. Or the way I originally was writing it was 1, 1/2, and square root 3 over 2, right? So now if you look at the one in blue, this 1, that's telling us that the distance between this point right here and this point right here is 1, which is exactly what we have down here with our 4 pi over 3 angle. So if we look at the blue numbers, we can say that tangent of pi over 3, which is opposite over adjacent, is going to be equal to square root 3 over 2 divided by 1/2. And that's equal to square root 3, because the 1/2s cancel out. So this, in fact, is our answer. I'm going to type it in. Excuse me. Oh, this is weird. Okay. Why won't it let me do anything? Oh, okay, there it goes. Square root 3. And there we have. Okay, so before I get into the next example, I just want to make a side note. There might be some of you that kind of watched the past 3 minutes and was like, yeah, but I memorized that tan pi over 3 is square root of 3. So do I really have to do all this work? And the answer to that is no. If you remember that tan pi over 3 is equal to square root 3, and you're able to understand the fact that tan pi over 3 is equivalent to tan 4 pi over 3, then no, you don't have to do all that work. So if you have the, I think there was like a table that I either showed you in a video or showed you from the e-text. And in that table, it had like all of the pi over 3, pi over 4, and pi over 6 trig functions and their values laid out. If you have that table memorized, you can just use that to answer these questions as well. So I'm just talking about why it kind of works. But here we have our next example, which is saying tangent of negative 19 pi over 6. And we can go ahead and do that. this example is, not asking you to take all the steps that the last one did. It's just telling you to give it some value. So here we have some angle, and I'm pretty sure this is in the pi over 6 family, but we can check it. So let's do negative 19 pi over 6 plus 2 pi k. 2 pi can be rewritten as 12 pi over 6, so let me do that. Times k, and here k is going to equal 2. So that way we get negative 19 pi over 6 plus 24 pi over 6, which is equal to 5 pi over 6. And it is, in fact, in the pi over 6 family. So, which pi over 6 member is this? Which quadrant is it in? Let's see. So you can probably tell that 5 pi over 6 is pi minus pi over 6, which would tell us that it is in the second quadrant. So remember, every member of a family is, for example, in the pi over 6 family, every member is pi over 6 away from the x-axis. So if this is pi over 6, this is pi, that means that this angle is 5 pi over 6. So we are in the second quadrant, which has a negative x and a positive y, and we're looking for tangent of negative 19 pi over 6, which we can rewrite as tangent of 5 pi over 6. Now, since tangent is negative in this quadrant, but tangent is positive in the first quadrant, that means that tangent of 5 pi over 6 is equal to negative tangent of pi over 6. So, why is that? Well, tangent of pi over 6 would be some trig function of something in the, how do I want to say this? Because tangent pi over 6 is in the first quadrant, it's going to be a positive value. This is something that we talked about like a couple days in class. But since we're over here in the realm where tangent is negative, and we want to find the value of tangent in this region, we need to take the negative of what it is in this region, so that way we get a negative output instead of a positive. So tangent of pi over 6, if you, like I said, if you memorize these angles, then you'll know right away that this is 1 over square root 3. If you haven't memorized these angles, we can take a look at what the pi over 3 triangle looks like. So remember, just trying to draw this fast. This is pi over 6, pi over 3, 1/2, 1, square root 3 over 2. I think I did that right. Yeah. So then tangent of pi over 6 is opposite tangent, oh, tangent of pi over 6 is the opposite, which is 1/2, over the adjacent, which is square root 3 over 2, which is equal to 1 over square root 3. But since we're looking for tangent of 5 pi over 6, it's going to be equal to the negative of this. So it's negative 1 over square root 3. We can type that in here. So it is going to have a value, and that value is going to be negative 1 over square root of 3. Well done. So that is it for objective 5 and 6. Those are the last problems. I hope this video helped. Good luck on y'all's quiz, and I will see you next time in class.